what, guys? Hold on. Trump tells Pentagon to ready vicious military attack or action, apologies, in Nigeria. Move fast. Why? All right, so this is a suggestion via channel member. Let's go and jump to the video immediately. We will comment throughout.
All right, well, we're going to begin this morning with a Fox News alert.
Nigeria.
President Trump ordering the Pentagon to prepare for possible fast military action in Nigeria if the country fails to crack down on the mass killing of Christians.
Rebecca Castor joins us live from Washington, D.C. with those details. Rebecca, good morning.
Rachel, good morning. Yeah, President Trump is not mincing words here. This is what he said on Truth Social yesterday. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into the now disgraced country guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible attack. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth got the message and says the Department of War is preparing for action. The response comes as the persecution of Christians in Nigeria has reached crisis levels. Islamist militants have burned down churches and Christian schools. And international civil rights groups estimate more than 50,000 Christians have been murdered in the country since 2009. But the president of Nigeria claims the
guys, hold on.
Reports of violence.
I want to hear some more of this.
And says on X, the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, nor does it take into consideration the consistent and sincere efforts of the government to safeguard freedom of religion and beliefs for all Nigerians. And our administration is committed to working with the United States government and international community to deepen understanding and cooperation of communities of all faiths. President Trump also recently redesignated Nigeria as a country of concern after
country of concern. Most likely meaning a country of particular concern, meaning that they're preemptively going to either utilize sanctions or even withhold aid. I think that's kind of what that basically means within the realm of U.S. foreign policy. It's very interesting, this video here, because who was feeding Trump this information, guys? Right? Because Acolyte exists, right? Specifically the information. And I remember this this story or something like this, or it's something like this, like maybe last year or so, people were basically saying that there was like a mass deletion of people because they were Christian. Guys, that's not happening in Nigeria. Not large scale, at least, because I mean, guys, the numbers are out. This has already kind of been disproven, so I don't know why we're kind of talking about this in 2025, guys. Because the problem is that, guys, more Muslims are ended in Nigeria than Christians, and a lot of the issues have nothing to do with the fact that they're Christian. It just so happens that they're in a warring tribe, guys. Nigeria is not the United States of America in its sensibilities, its culture, its anything, truth be told here, right? So most of the issues that you're starting to run into specifically in Nigeria are going to be in the north Nigeria, along with like the middle belt. Like these issues are not like a thing that happens in like Abuja or Lagos. It's just not a thing. Nigeria is also a country that is split basically almost perfectly in half with Christians and Muslims, but more Muslims are being ended. And why are more Muslims being ended? Understand this here. Boko Haram exists here. These are the people that absolutely strongly detest anything Western education based. I even think it's in their name, guys, right? So understand this here. And so the dilemma is that you have Muslims that are moderate Muslims specifically, that are, how do I explain this here? They're not going to even dabble, let's say, in the ignorance of the massive fundamentalism of Boko Haram or even IS, right? Like, just understand this here, okay? And so they are, in fact, being packed up a lot faster than Christians are, because Christians generally are not going to be in that region a lot of the times anyway. Guys, Nigeria is massive, okay? I also think that most likely the president or the ruler specifically of Nigeria would actually have no problem with Trump helping, as long as Trump had the ability to also maintain the country's sovereignty, meaning that you can come and help if you want. You don't run things, right? But the main issue is not what is being basically promoted, because it's just not a true statement here. Now we can have the argument about the 52,000, I think is what it actually is, versus the 32,000, because I think that's the actual number, right? But in 32,000 as in the 32,000 Muslims, right? So there are, again, ACLED specifically did a entire study, and we have all the stats all exist already. 317 specifically from the same chart that she's looking at, by saying 50,000 plus. 317 were actually ended because they were Christian. Okay, 317. These are the people that were actually affected, where in the reports it was, oh, this Christian, they were identified as a Christian, versus 417 legitimately Muslims in the same exact period. So by all default, more Muslims have been ended. And so this is kind of where I'm just like, I don't know, guys, what are we doing here? What's happening here? This is going to set a crazy precedent, and not a good one. Truth be told, this is not a very good precedent, guys. But either way.
President Biden removed it from the list in 2021. Rachel, Charlie, and Griff, back to you.
All right, Rebecca, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca. Well, it's really hard to tell what's going on. We understand that they are Muslim
Not really.
rebels of sorts. There's all kinds of unrest in these countries, and it's not just in Nigeria. It's in Sudan, it's in Chad, it's in the Congo. I mean, it's all over Africa. And, it's out of control, and it is very targeted at Christians. You look at that number in just one country, 50,000, and then he says, well, there's no targeted attack. It's kind of crazy. But we've been hearing this from, groups like Boko Haram since the Obama days. Remember when they kidnapped those girls, and there was this whole campaign to bring back the girls. And many of those girls are still in captivity. This is a gentleman named Paul Adamu. He is Nigerian. He is a Christian, and he was kidnapped by Boko Haram. And this is what he had to say in an op-ed with Fox News recently. He said, these are not random acts of violence. They are systematic, coordinated attempts to erase Christian communities from the region. As someone who has walked through the burned villages and prayed with survivors, I can tell you the reality is even worse than the statistics suggest. The United States and other Western nations cannot look away. They have both the moral obligation and the diplomatic tools to press Nigeria towards real accountability. By the way, he is also going to be on our show later on today, and we'll hear from him.
I figured that.
And, the thing that I love about that, the tweet, the message by President Trump is that, we talked last week about the done row doctrine, how President Trump is concerned more about his own backyard, which is way smarter than gallivanting all around the world. But the other thing is, you can use that pulpit as a way to put your foot down and scare the living bejesus out of foreign countries where they are doing things like this.
Yes.
And it's part of the anything is possible doctrine, or the daddy's home doctrine, where people are actually afraid. They recognize he really will make good on all of his promises. And that tends to sort of inspire peace, and we've seen it around the world.
I love the way you said earlier when we were talking about this before the show started. I said, well, I think all the actors in there are bad. I mean, these are factions, military factions fighting against each other, and these civilians are sort of caught in it. And Charlie said, well, that's what President Trump does. He just says, knock it off, or I'm coming up there.
Don't make me come upstairs.
It's a great point, but the important part about it is we are seeing President Trump's peace through strength in action, because there's soft power, the trade that has gotten so much accomplishments, but then there's a hard power, and that's the threat of guns a-blazing. And look, if he does go guns a-blazing, it's going to be a limited strike, precision. It's not going to be some starting a war. We've seen this before. He's done that. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, Nigeria is on notice now. And I went this morning to the United Nations Twitter feed. I'm like, I wonder if there's anything about Nigeria, about Christians. Nothing. You can find condemnation of the drug boats being taken out in the Caribbean by the UN, but you won't see that. Very interesting thing.
Guys, why would there be? Okay, so this is where sometimes we kind of need to understand what media is. This is a really good example of it, right? all of these individuals have the ability to basically open a book, or even research the topic before, let's say specifically speaking in depth, or giving actual opinions of it specifically if you have no idea. The reason why it's not happening is because this is not happening, right? The 317 specifically Christians that share the Christian faith that have been ended. Obviously, there are going to be more people that have been affected that have made it, right? And by all defaults, these people also were most likely targeted exclusively. But if we start talking about the people who were ended, and that's what we need to have, because the whole basis of the conversation is who lost their existence, right? And it just seems very troubling, right? This is not new information, guys. It's not. I'm going to get yelled at in the comments for not just towing the line, right? But I don't toe the line. Guys, I expect you to disagree with me, but show me the proof in the comments. Seriously. Because the problem is that, yes, if you want to do raw numbers of people that have been affected, Christians generally are more affected, right? But they have not lost their lives at the same rate because of, like, specifically because of it, right? And that's kind of my moral hang up here right now, right? If you want to actually put it into like start the concept of sanctions, that makes sense completely. Let's sanction places. I love it, right? Let's legitimately waste less money in places that have no really, worth to us, let's say, truth be told. And I'm fine with that. Let's stop all the foreign aid to places that we don't really care about, but we pay for some reason. Guys, please. Absolutely, I'm down with that. All countries. There's not a single country outside the United States of America that I want to give money to. Not a single one. Okay. But all right, listen, guys, argue with me in the comments. I'm down for it. But send me links and sources. Seriously. I have no problem changing my opinion if new information is given that basically moves the goal line, if that makes any sense. I love it. Teach me something new, guys. Right? But specifically, you cannot. I understand. On the surface, you see these things and you're just like, this is crazy. It needs to get fixed. If that was true, I'd be having a different conversation. But the problem is the numbers do not back it. Like the actual numbers, like the raw numbers of proof that this is why this happened, instead of assuming. Assumptions are generally not always true. Because you have to understand, like, the region, guys. Nigeria is not the United States of America, bro. Right? There's a lot of, like, geography issues, insurgency issues, ethnic and tribal issues. They have been at war with each other since before the United States of America existed. They really don't like each other. A lot of the deletions are like farmers and like field hands, guys. Just understand what we're talking about here. These are people who are living really close and they want someone else's land. Oh, you built a church here. They don't really care what it is. You could have built a mosque there. They don't care. They want that land. They're going to take it. That's what's going on here. Again, guys, this is not the United States of America. Don't look at it through the lens of an American. Or you then end up like these three people on the couch here talking about things that they really have no idea of. Like, they've never been to that region. Guys, it's crazy. Right? It's super tribal. All of this is ethnic based. You guys all look the same, but say you're different things. I don't know. Weird. Not my problem though. Right? So, and they don't like each other because of it. A lot of it. Oh, you're this. So, and I'm this. Who cares, bro? Who cares? Trust me. No one knows the difference outside of Nigeria. All right. But either way, listen, guys, you guys have an absolutely amazing day. Again, guys, please yell at me in the comments. I'm down for it. But cite sources. But in the meantime, because again, my source, I'll tell you directly, it's ACLAD. So, yeah. Either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies. And I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, with Vikings. And we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry, right? Listen, like and subscribe.